Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for our Microsoft Entra Suite Summer Camp. My name is Laura Virengo. I'm a product marketing manager on the Microsoft Entra team, and I'll be your host for Summer Camp this week. Throughout this week, we're excited to bring you a series of webinars highlighting the value of the Microsoft Entra Suite and introducing some of our latest product features. Each session will include in-depth demos and live Q&A with our product experts, so you'll have the opportunity to get all your questions answered. Can't join us live? No problem. Every session will be available on demand. Just use the links provided on this slide. Today, we released the Forrester Total Economic Impact Study for the Microsoft Entra Suite. So for today's session, Caitlin Murphy and I are joined by Forrester Analyst Geoff Cairns and Senior Consultant Roger Nauth, who will share their insights and explore the value that the Microsoft Entra Suite delivers. And now, I'll hand it over to Geoff, who will walk us through some industry findings in the age of AI.
Thanks, Laura. It's great to be here with you all today. Before Caitlin provides an overview of the Microsoft Entra Suite and Roger gets into the details of Forrester's Total Economic Impact Study, I want to share a bit of industry perspective and provide you with a backdrop. So today we are seeing a number of broader technology and workforce trends that are creating new dynamics and accelerating the speed and scale at which security solutions and enterprise teams need to operate. Cloud and SaaS adoption are well underway, ushering in more dynamic environments and resulting in new identity and access challenges and use cases. This adoption has in turn led to a need for greater agility in the development, deployment, and operation of digital business and IT solutions, again, leading to new access control demands and IAM requirements. And although it is still in an emergent state, agentic AI will be an even greater accelerant, exacerbating the already exponential growth of machine identities. From an organizational and process standpoint, greater reliance on partners and service providers to deliver core enterprise capabilities opens up additional challenges for managing these identities and managing supply chain risks. The shift to remote workforce that has occurred over the last several years is another factor here. By now, we've all heard about the North Korean IT fake worker scheme. And recent volatility also brings in a level of organizational change that can have significant impact, bringing greater risk to organizations that lack solid identity hygiene and access governance fundamentals. All of these trends are magnifying the criticality of having a holistic identity and access management strategy, not just for security purposes, but to support the underlying productivity gains and business benefits that organizations are ultimately seeking to achieve through these broader trends. The span of these trends also underscores the need for organizational attention to cross-functional collaboration when it comes to identity and access. The heightened importance of identity and access is further evidenced by what we are seeing organizations prioritize. Data from our Forrester Security Survey in 2025 shows that enhancing IAM, both for workforce and customers, is among the top 10 strategic IT security priorities for organizations. Furthermore, IAM is a critical subcomponent to many of the other top priorities you see listed here, including preventing and protecting against identity-based attacks, which have become all too commonplace, developing and implementing comprehensive cloud security strategies, and implementing or improving zero trust security strategy. To effectively address these overarching priorities requires more converged and tightly integrated identity and access capabilities. To be successful, enterprises need to shift away from siloed IAM functionalities and apply a unified identity and access management strategy based on zero trust principles. All entities should be untrusted by default, and this requires strong authentication stemming from a basis of solid identity verification and supported by robust identity governance lifecycle processes, and with ongoing continuous risk-based access controls. In terms of enforcement of least privilege access, the controls that contain identity sprawl and permissions drift have become instrumental. Given the nature of today's environments, it is increasingly important that just enough privilege is coupled with just-in-time privilege to eliminate standing access. And lastly, comprehensive security monitoring. This is necessary for audit and immediate threat detection and response purposes, but also for risk signals and identity analytics that can enable additional proactive security measures to be initiated. Beyond these key security principles, however, what I want to emphasize on this diagram is the importance of the rings, the through lines of automation, orchestration, visibility, and analytics. This is where the real power of the unified approach is derived. Identity and access platforms that deliver on these aspects through a combination of native capabilities and robust integrations are becoming more and more essential. Integration across the security ecosystem, including identity, endpoint, and network security, as well as incorporation with the overall IT environment and day-to-day business processes, is increasingly important to delivering on the full value that a unified approach offers. When done right, we see organizations realizing outcomes from embracing a unified identity and access approach that extend well beyond improved security posture and mitigation of IT security risks. The orchestrated workflows and automations that the approach produces, bolstered by integration within the context of the organization's overall IT environment, lead to increased employee productivity while reducing security administration costs. Organizations that embrace unified IAM see shorter user onboarding times to get workers up and running more quickly, cleaner and faster login experiences that introduce less end-user friction, more control within the hands of end users via self-service capabilities and integrated approval workflows, more consistent and automated user offboarding that heads off downstream incidents, and better analytics to detect permissions drift and provide policy optimizations. Modern unified identity and access empowers employees to work securely and seamlessly, inspiring a better security culture, one where employees don't actively try to circumvent security policy, but rather view the organization as forward-looking and innovative when it comes to security and trust. And with that, Laura, I'll hand it back over to you.
Thank you so much, Geoff, for sharing these valuable insights. It's clear that organizations' IAM strategies must continue to evolve, especially given the rapid rise of AI. To build off these trends, I'd love to pass it over to Caitlin, who will show us how the Microsoft Entra Suite is designed to address new challenges, helping organizations unify identity and network access. Caitlin, over to you.
Thanks so much, Laura and Geoff. And hello, everybody. I'm Caitlin, and I'm pleased to be with you today at summer camp. So, it's widely acknowledged that our environment is evolving at an unprecedented pace, right? The COVID-19 pandemic and the shift to remote work caused significant changes. And then there was this rapid proliferation of digital identities. And now we're all learning how to protect AI, to use AI, and protect against AI. And so these developments, layered onto this already dynamic industry landscape, demand agility, they demand resilience, and they demand robust tools. And that's exactly why we introduced the Entra Suite, to help security professionals stay ahead of this complexity, to unify identity and network access security, to simplify the user experience, and to enforce zero trust principles across every app, every device, and every location. So let's start by putting some numbers to these trends. So as I just mentioned, the number of identities and endpoints has exploded and dramatically increased the attack surface area. Just think about it. Today, there are more than 300 billion passwords in use by humans and machines. And because there are so many identities in use, and since identities are the front door to an organization, over 84% of attacks involve internet exposure and 66% involve insecure identity credentials. And this makes identity the most popular attack vector and a crucial first line of defense. Password attacks alone constitute more than 99% of the identity attacks that we see. In fact, Microsoft blocks more than 7,000 password attacks per second. And as we advance our defenses against those bad actors, the bad actors are shifting towards more complicated attacks, like token replay attacks. And finally, more AI usage by bad actors and even well-meaning employees means that 57% of security leaders are reporting an increase in security incidents from AI usage. To address these challenges, not only do tools need to evolve, but the way we use those tools must change too. Today, security teams are often siloed. Each team uses multiple tools that aren't necessarily designed to work together, which can lead to inconsistent access policies and security gaps. On average, enterprise organizations use 5 identity access solutions from 3 different vendors and 4 network access solutions from 3 additional vendors. This fragmentation drives inefficiencies from managing so many tools and spending a lot of time trying to make sure that they work well together. That ultimately increases security risk. In fact, 79% of organizations with 6 or more solutions say that the number of significant breaches they've had to deal with in the past year have increased. To address these threats, organizations must think about breaking the silos and unifying identity and network access security. Doing so provides several key benefits. First, it improves security. By consolidating access policies, organizations can better protect against sophisticated attacks and reduce security gaps. Second, it enhances efficiency. Streamlining tools and processes reduces complexity and operational overhead, and it allows security teams to focus on the strategic initiatives that matter most. And third, it delivers a better user experience. Simplifying access management improves the user experience. It makes it easier for employees to access resources in a low-friction, familiar way, which again reduces the likelihood of security compromise. That's why we created the Microsoft Entra Suite. The suite is a comprehensive family of products that secures access for any employee from anywhere to any app or resource across your digital estate, on-premise and across clouds. This means securing access to resources such as modern SaaS apps and legacy on-premise servers and file shares too. And it means protecting access to resources, whether the access request comes from within your corporate network or over the open internet. The Entra Suite includes 5 products to give you a complete solution for zero-trust user access. It includes Microsoft Entra Private Access that replaces legacy VPNs and extends MFA and conditional access to all resources. It includes Microsoft Entra Internet Access, which is our identity-centric secure web gateway designed to protect against threats of the open internet. Microsoft Entra ID Governance, which ensures least privileged access for any user. Microsoft Entra ID Protection, which is all about preventing identity compromise with real-time risk assessment for every sign-in and every user. It's powered by cloud-scale machine learning. And finally, Microsoft Entra Verified ID, which makes it possible to verify a person's identity in real time in a privacy-respecting way. And because these 5 products work together in one integrated solution, the Entra Suite makes it easy to protect your employees' identities and secure their access to any app, any resource, regardless of whether people choose to work from home, on the office, or on the go. And with that, I'll hand it back to Laura.
Thanks, Caitlin, for that great overview of the Microsoft Entra Suite. And now, to bring these benefits to life with real numbers and customer stories, I'm excited to introduce Roger to walk us through the key findings from the Total Economic Impact Study of the Microsoft Entra Suite.
Thanks, Laura. Hi, everyone. As Laura mentioned, I'm Roger Nauth. I'm a senior consultant in Forrester's TEI practice. I'm excited to walk you through the key findings from our recent study commissioned by Microsoft. So just a quick agenda. Here's what we'll cover today: a quick overview of TEI, a summary of our findings, some real customer journeys, the quantified results, and a financial summary. Please note that this is a high-level overview. Our full case study includes more detail on methodology and calculations. And just some disclosures before we dive in. This study was commissioned by Microsoft, but Forrester retained editorial control. We interviewed Microsoft customers independently, and the results reflect their aggregated experiences. As always, we recommend using your own data to tailor the TEI model to your organization. So first, what is TEI? TEI stands for Total Economic Impact. It's Forrester's proven methodology for evaluating technology investments. We look at 4 key dimensions: benefits, costs, flexibility, and risk, to help organizations make informed decisions. Our approach is rigorous and multi-step. We start with due diligence, conduct in-depth customer interviews, build a composite organization and financial model, and then document our findings. Microsoft was not involved in the interviews, ensuring unbiased insights. Let's start with the big picture. Over 3 years, the composite organization saw a 131% ROI, $14.4 million in benefits, and $8.2 million in net present value. One customer summed it up well: we cut onboarding time by 80%, reduced help desk tickets by 90%, and strengthened security, all while improving user experience. Before Entra Suite, so common pain points included access control. Organizations struggled with managing access control efficiently, especially with remote workers and external contractors. The manual process of setting up VPN access was cumbersome and time-consuming, often taking up to a week. This led to operational inefficiencies and compliance issues. There were significant security incidents due to unauthorized access and compromised accounts. For example, rogue employees retained access to critical systems, leading to business disruptions and financial losses. The lack of a unified identity platform increased the risk of security breaches. Multiple disparate tools, and Caitlin talked about this, were used for identity and access management, leading to integration challenges and security gaps. This fragmentation resulted in high IT costs, inefficiencies, and difficulties in maintaining a consistent security posture across the organization. Ensuring compliance with industry standards and regulations was also challenging due to the lack of automated identity governance and lifecycle management. Manual processes for access reviews and audits were time-consuming and prone to errors, increasing the risk for non-compliance. Operational efficiencies. The manual processes for user provisioning, deprovisioning, and access management were inefficient and resource-intensive. Organizations faced high operational costs and wasted labor due to the lack of automation and streamlined workflows. And then finally, user experience, which was negatively impacted by the need for multiple logins and the use of traditional VPN solutions. Employees faced frequent login issues, poor network performance, and disruptions in accessing critical applications, leading to decreased productivity and satisfaction. Customers were looking for a unified solution to enhance identity security, automate governance, reduce costs, and support zero trust. They also wanted to improve productivity and offer managed security services to clients. We spoke with leaders across industries from retail and government to financial services and tech. These insights helped us build a representative composite organization. So our composite organization for this case study is a $28 billion global enterprise with 85,000 employees and 32,000 Entra Suite users. It's security focused and operates across diverse technology and service sectors. The organization needed a scalable, automated identity solution with strong compliance and audit capabilities. Entra Suite delivered unified identity management, zero trust architecture, and a seamless user experience. So we identified 8 key benefit areas, from vendor consolidation and improved security to faster onboarding and reduced help desk tickets. These benefits totaled over $14 million in risk-adjusted value. Let's start with vendor consolidation. Before adopting Microsoft Entra Suite, organizations were juggling multiple IAM, VPN, and security tools, often with overlapping functionality. By consolidating into a single platform, the composite organization eliminated redundant tools and saved $500,000 annually. That's a 13% reduction in identity-related costs. These savings came not just from licensing, but also from reduced integration and support overhead. Security was a major driver. Prior to Entra Suite, the composite organization faced an annual risk exposure of $844,000 from identity-based threats. With Entra's risk-based conditional access, MFA, and unified signals, they reduced that exposure by 30%, saving $535,000 over 3 years. Managing multiple IAM tools used to require 5 full-time engineers. With Entra Suite, that number dropped to just 1 for the composite organization. That's an 80% reduction in engineering effort, freeing up resources for higher value work like automation and policy development. Over 3 years, this translated to $1.5 million in savings. Onboarding was another area of transformation. Previously, it took about 2 hours to onboard a new employee. With Entra Suite and Verified ID, that time dropped by 75%, down to just 30 minutes. Across 12,000 hires per year, that's $2.7 million in IT time savings over 3 years. Beyond onboarding, Entra Suite also streamlined ongoing access management. Tasks like role changes and entitlement updates used to take 90 minutes. With automation and policy-driven workflows, that time dropped by 80% to just 18 minutes. With 25,000 such tasks annually, the composite organization saved $4.6 million over 3 years. Password resets were a major burden for the composite organization, which had 80,000 tickets per year. With passwordless authentication and self-service reset, ticket volume dropped by 90%. That's $2.6 million in avoided help desk costs over 3 years. Entra Suite's private access capabilities allowed the composite to eliminate 60% of its VPN licenses. With 20,000 users and an average cost of $24 per user annually, that's $680,000 in savings over 3 years. And finally, compliance. Before Entra Suite, the composite spent $2 million annually on compliance and audit activities. With automated access reviews and reporting, they cut those costs by 15%, saving $709,000 over 3 years. So bringing it all together, $14.4 million in benefits, $6.2 million in costs, and a net present value of $8.2 million. That's a 131% ROI over 3 years. That wraps up the TEI findings. I'll pass it back to you now, Laura.
Thanks, Roger. That was an amazing look at how organizations can realize value with the Microsoft Entra Suite. And thanks again to Geoff and Caitlin for joining us today, sharing all your findings and showcasing how organizations can address evolving threats by unifying identity and network access. If you want to dive even deeper into the TEI findings for the Microsoft Entra Suite, here's where you can access the full study. And if you're interested in getting started with a Microsoft Entra Suite, our newly released workshop is designed to help your organization realize its full value, one step at a time. Whether you're focusing on streamlining employee onboarding, enabling secure remote access, or protecting your workforce with secure internet access, this workshop provides clear scenario-based guidance through each stage of deployment. For more details and to get started, simply reach out to your account manager or visit the link on the screen. As a reminder, the rest of this week features immersive demo sessions highlighting 3 key scenarios that are unlocked with the Microsoft Entra Suite. We hope to see you for our first demo session tomorrow, Cabin Check-In, where we will follow how Violet Martinez, a Woodgrove Bank employee, can securely access new resources following her promotion to finance manager. Thanks again for joining, and looking forward to seeing all you campers throughout the rest of the Microsoft Entra Suite Summer Camp.